up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and colonel and dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio with me is resident superstar and king of video games, Adrian. Oh, I don't know why I like.
Why did you question on that?
Is it? That's right.
Is it time for me to update it?
The resident super and king of video games, Adrian Holmes. That's right, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, it didn't sound right as it kind of like I don't know. Sorry, I hesitated because it didn't sound right, but I feel better that I was right. I'm sorry, okay. I didn't say it more confidently.
You know what?
I'm sorry, my lord.
It's getting to be that time anyway, where it's time for me to rotate titles out, not only for myself but for Kojoma. It's been too long that he's just been Kojoma, so I've got to figure something out here pretty fast. But he hasn't said anything silly enough in the chat or on Discord for us to make fun of him about, you know. He was actually a major factor in I put up on Twitter recently that I was in the middle of a dilemma, and he came in and mentioned some gave his viewpoint on it, and he helped out a lot. So if you're curious, okay. I was in an internal struggle to try to find the relevancy in owning and continuing to use an Xbox console. Given the fact that now that I have this computer, which also has access to the same Game Pass library, makes it redundant.
Which, by the way, tomorrow, as of August 23rd, Death Stranding is available on Game Pass for PC. Let's go.
Did we not just discuss this? They obviously made the deal based on our conversation last week. So it's very obvious what's going on here.
I think people better start respecting us as a real video game podcast.
I would say Call of Duty is going to show up shortly on all PlayStation consoles from here on out and will not be removed due to what they've obviously worked out with this Death Stranding deal.
Or Kojima just has that kind of juice that he can do that.
Or Kojoma has that kind of juice, and that little bastard ended up reaching out and made stuff happen. And if that's the case, Kojoma, good freaking job. We know he's on Twitch. Kojoma's killing it over there. And he probably got a little bug in Phil Spector's ear and said, just do it.
Phil Spector.
Just listen to the super.
It's the ghost of Phil Spencer.
Yeah, whatever.
Phil Spector.
That's what I'm gonna go for as Halloween is Phil Spector.
He might have just called up the ghost of Zech Keenan and had Zech get in the ear and possess somebody.
Now if Half-Life Alyx shows up on an Xbox platform, then you know that was Zech. That was nobody else but him.
Careful, don't say that too loudly.
You'll forgive me. I know I've got a lot of energy already, and I know you haven't announced who I am, but you all know who I am. My name is JJ, and I am the resident heavyweight champion of podcasting. I just did a big old line of Dubby energy drink. I'm not really positive that's how you're supposed to be doing it, but I'll tell you what.
It is.
I feel
especially
freaking
because we're Dubby
right
partners.
Now.
We are
100%
partnered with Dubby Energy.
Hell
yeah. Do you want to keep your control stick from drifting?
Mm.
Take some Dubby Energy.
Yeah, when he says control stick, that's like euphemism.
I mean
that's like
control stick. It'll keep you gaming all night.
Right?
Dubby Energy.
No. You don't want it drifting, and you know what I mean? Sometimes you need it to go a little longer if you're doing a whole
you know how sometimes it drifts to the
session?
left or sometimes it drifts to the right a little bit? No, you want peak performance.
You don't want any curvy stuff. You don't want to have a curve.
Oh, you know what? Some people like that. Hold on now.
No, that's true. Maybe.
But for the majority, you want a firm joystick for when you game all night long, and nobody else can help you with that but Dubby Energy.
Skyline in the chat says episode 1 nice.
Yeah, what an episode to do it on. There we go.
Yeah, this is episode 169, everyone. Thank you.
Episode 1 nice.
One night. Thank you, Skyline, for pointing that out.
That's crazy because that's a sexual position. And so you see what he did there? It was like, okay, when you're laying on the bed and then you have the old lady flip over.
All right, today we're talking about Lord of the Rings new owner. Dead Island is back and Toys for Bob is working on something new. But first, Let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumple Smash and Eddie Martin, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates, Mama Mare, and Kajoma01. Thank you so much to those awesome folks, and many more. Some are in the show description below, and some are just buried in our hearts because they support us at dollar level, and we could not do it without all of you guys. You can go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys and support us over there. Like I said, just $1 a month. You get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show and Adrian's Super Gamer Book Club each and every month. You get that 2 months early. The new episode this month is Star Wars Republic Commando. Blast of an episode to record. It's fun to just tear apart a game for once in my life and not just like,
It sucks.
Yeah. If you're on the fence about supporting us, you want to check out that show because you're like, do I really want to get it right as soon as it comes out? Is it really worth it? Yeah, let me tell you, it is. But if you want to check it out for yourself, go to any podcast app or our channel, youtube.com/supergamerboys, and you can catch old episodes for free. Super Mario World featuring Patrick and Mark from Nintendo Cartridge Society is available right now. Let me tell you, that episode's been a hit. It's gotten like so many views and listens. Like, people are loving it. So
yes,
go check that one out.
I love to hear it.
All of the episodes are fantastic, but I just love how that one's blown up. Fantastic guest, fantastic game.
You gonna talk about the new one?
Yeah, this coming month is
the game that Garrett's scared to play.
That's right. Amori is the name of the game, with special guest Ray from twitch.tv/RayToRat. She will be joining us to talk this this RPG indie game, horror. It's a whole bunch of things. It's a lot of like genres packed in one. Yeah, let me tell you, it's I was talking to Adrian the other night about it. I'm like, it's a hard game.
I know
to
you
play.
were saying it's a little heavy. It's a little
heavy.
too heavy for you right now, and I said I totally get it.
It's heavy. So check out the game. I think it's on Game Pass right now too, so you can go play it for yourself.
It's on Game Pass. It's like $15 on Steam. Like,
yeah.
So go for it.
Play along, or at least check it out, and then support us on Patreon so you can hear our thoughts on that game. And especially Ray, she's a huge super fan, she says. So I am stoked about that. That'll be coming out next week probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's today?
We're kind of
22nd.
Today's the 22nd. So it'll be probably like next Wednesday. I know typically it's the last Friday of the month, but we're like, you know what? You get it on a Wednesday.
You get it in August. How about that?
That Wednesday happens before Friday. It might be a different, Friday.
It's an August book club. You get it in August.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
All right. Also, shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. We appreciate them so much, allowing us to use their tunes here in the background and in the the post-stream, pre-stream, in-between stream. Go check them out. You can listen to them on Apple Music and Spotify. You can find the links to Spotify in the show description below. They are fantastic. Thank you so much again for allowing us to use the wonderful music in the background here. All right. It's now time to check the mail.
Okay. It is the mail. Everybody is the mail. Woo! Every time we have the mail, you open up the stuff. And look, I didn't write it, okay? Guys, you guys are killing me. You didn't call me. You didn't tell me crap.
So last week, you didn't tell me about how we had to spend all day last Wednesday in meetings with copyright lawyers because you stole that "Let's All Go to the Lobby" music.
No.
And then
I was
this
thinking
week,
like a Jamaican thing. We can
You were like, hey, you know what would be good? A reggae theme.
I'm just thinking. I don't know. It's the mail. I mean, come on, guys, work with me here. Damn it.
That's all right.
You
Hang
didn't
on.
give me a
You know
heads
what?
up. I forgot. I got
W
memory
Energy.
issues.
W Energy came through, and you know what? They actually they said they're gonna send the notes with the W. So let me take a look here, and right here, there it is. You know what? I thought my W tasted kind of funny. Is this the questions here? So thanks, W, for sending the questions.
Oh, sweet.
It's weird that you put
saving JJ's bacon.
Yeah.
Thank God they did that. They also saved my erection earlier. I don't know if you know that.
Jeez, that's not even just a. Never mind. Everyone in the chat is like, WTF? Like, oh no, JJ.
It's too late. We can't go back in time. Either Dubby's riding with it or they're not at this point.
And dude, and Dubby comes across to me like a ride or die kind of partner.
They seem like they want to be edgelords. This is edgelord content. This is what they want.
Yeah, and they'll take you right to the edge. Remember, Dubby. No?
All right, this first question comes to us from CJM, and they write, if Microsoft makes COD exclusive to Xbox and Sony was to make Destiny exclusive to PlayStation, which game would get the most players to switch console?
This is no contest. No contest, Call of Duty. Are you kidding?
I actually really loved Kajoma's answer on the Discord. He responded back to CGM right away and was just like, where is it here? As someone who plays way too much Destiny, God, no contest. So even the super fan that Kajoma is of Destiny, even he recognizes that, absolutely. Like, COD is huge. Like, Destiny's big. Not numbers,
that's not a slight to Destiny.
Numbers. No, yeah.
It's just when you ask to compare the two, that's the truth. It's not even COD is like it's a monolith in video games.
Yes. Oh, I mean,
like it'd be Call of Duty, it'd be Minecraft.
I mean, COD's been around for decades now. Like, there was Call of Duty games on, what was the first one? Was on PlayStation 2?
2?
Yeah. So
wasn't it Big Red 1? No, it was Finest Out. No, was it?
I think it was just called Call of Duty. And then Call of Duty 2 had a name, or maybe, let me see. Call of Duty
2 was Big Red 1, I think.
Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1. Oh, the first one was called Finest Hour. Call of Duty Finest Hour.
Yeah.
I remember that game. Finest Hour. Man, that game was hard. Do you remember the original Call of Duty?
Are you kidding?
It was so freaking hard.
And then we didn't have sticks. It was the D-pad. You had to play with the D-pad. It was PS1.
No, it was PlayStation 2.
Was it?
PS2,
what am I? Oh,
GameCube,
Medal of Honor. I'm thinking
of Medal of Honor. Oh yeah, Medal of Honor was hard. Now that was that was hard mode because it was PlayStation 1 before analog sticks, and you're like, all right, you're a first person shooter, and all you have is a D-pad. It's like, wait, what?
Good luck.
What are we doing here? Call of Duty absolutely. It would take that. I think PlayStation would be hurting no matter what they did, but especially if they took Destiny off Xbox, like that would just slim the small player base even slimmer.
Right, they're never going to do that.
Yeah,
they can't afford to.
CJM, they also ask, what was the scariest gaming moment you've ever experienced?
So that's easy for me because it actually happened here in the Super Gamer Boys. Garrett and I, when it was just a two-man crew before we brought Adrian in to save the day and be our hero, we had a night where we were streaming on Twitch. One of the first times we ever streamed anything. We streamed on Twitch Resident Evil 2, the remake, and Garrett played the first, 25 minutes or half hour, and then he goes, okay, I can go to the bathroom. JJ, you want to play? And we had a handful of people that were in the chat, watching and listening, and I started to play, and I started to scream like a little girl because I got very scared, and I couldn't control the controllers. I was screaming, and I died within 1 minute. And Garrett came out from the bathroom, and he's like, "You died already? That fast?" And it was just one of the funniest moments ever because
I don't even think the bathroom door was closed yet. I was literally still on my way, closing the door to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I hear, ah, 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 ah. What is happening out there?
And you know what the thing is? People have asked, were you messing around? And I wish that I could say, I was just doing that for comedy. No, I was legitimately screaming because that game was scary as hell. They did such a great job with that remake. And at that point, I hadn't seen anything that good yet. And dude, that game was awesome. And you just caught me at a bad time. I was I couldn't get the joysticks to go the right direction. And
you didn't know the controls. You were thrown in a scary game with not knowing the controls. So you walk out the door and just get mauled by zombies. You're
I just got mauled horribly by zombies. And I'm trying to back up. And then I'm looking down. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm getting attacked. And it was ah! So it was great. It was the scariest moment I've ever experienced.
What about you, Adrian?
I think I would have to say, I don't know if you guys have ever played Doom 3 The one that came out for the original Xbox? No,
I didn't.
Okay,
no.
So Doom 3 plays way different than 1, 2, or 2016, right? It plays more like a horror game because you're trapped.
Yeah,
you're trapped on a space station, and basically it's been taken over. It's a hell portal, the regular Doom shtick. There are hallways where the lights will flicker, right? And they'll go on and then they'll turn off. And then you would hear on your left side like something running past you.
Oh no.
And then they flicker on and flicker off again, and you see something go up into the corridor or up into the roof, right?
Yeah.
And then you keep going down and the lights would turn off again, and then they flick back on and it'd be like 3 imps right in front of you. Oh my God. No, thank you, dude. That game was terrifying.
Dang.
I don't know why it doesn't get more love. I mean, I know it was different than the other 3, but I think it still was really good. Maybe we should do that for a book club one time.
Yeah, that was one. I mean, I never owned an original Xbox. I had a buddy who did, and I remember going over to his house and hanging out with him one time, and he had like rented it from the local game shop, and he was like, "Do you want to play it?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'm down." And then what I didn't realize is apparently like my parents had talked to his parents or something, and like
they blocked you.
it was like, and his mom's like, "No, I don't think he's allowed to play that." I'm like, "What? I want to play it." I'm like, "No, you can't play it," because it was like, yeah, like the more horror themed. Like I remember the box like vividly. I like looking at like it was even the box was like, oh, this is like so intense, so creepy.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved the art design on it, but never got to play it. For me, man. Probably the two most I can think of two more recent ones. Obviously, Resident Evil Village. It's actually, I think it's a clip on our highlight clip on our channel here. So if you're watching on Twitch, you could probably go watch it. The very first time that freaking, I mean, the whole dollhouse house is terrifying. But that moment when Nightmare that freaking giant fetus crawls out and chases you, I legitimately like threw the controller, and like I've never had such a physical reaction to something.
I'm out
ever. Like that was terrifying. Like it was straight up fight or flight kind of response in that moment. That was so scary to me.
Your brain shuts down with that baby coming after you, man. You're like, I don't know where to go, what to do, and
oh no, not me. I'm getting out of there. I got to do what I got to do to get out of there.
Oh man. And then the other thing was, I remember I just got my PlayStation VR, and it was Resident Evil 7. So both Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 7
Welcome
in
to
VR.
The family, son.
Oh my gosh. It took me about 8.5 hours to beat the game, and I played like the first 4.5 hours just all in VR, and basically so all the way through like the house part of it, because like the second half it goes to the ship or whatever, or like more outside. But the whole like the more like paranormal, scary, like really dark part of the game, like I played that all in VR, and I remember taking off the helmet, just being like, just borderline like
anyone here?
Like I need to just go.
Now you have to do 8. You know they're gonna make a mode for PSVR 2, dude. You have to play 8. You have to.
Man, that means I have to get a PSVR 2 though.
You already have the system.
I know, but I also already have a VR headset. Do I really need 2 VR headsets?
I mean,
oh man,
can you really have enough?
I mean, no, never.
See,
and those VRs are pretty expensive right now for the PlayStation 5.
Well, the new one they just announced it today that starting. Well, they didn't give a date. I think it's a window. They said like within the first few months of 2023, right at the beginning, PSVR 2 is launching. So the next version of PlayStation VR is coming out, and just within the next 6-7 months, which is crazy.
Be ready to go.
And it's going to be what, like $400, right? $500?
Probably 4 or 5.
Probably 4. Yeah. They didn't say. They literally just gave a date today. But if
they can't be too far ahead of an Oculus, or else people won't buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like the Quest is 300.
About to go up.
And so yeah,
I think.
So I would say the PSVR is going to be between like 3 and 4. It's if they want to be competitive. If they don't care, then it could be between 4 and 5. But
unless they're competing with the Rift.
I have a friend who has an Oculus and he doesn't like it. He said
I love mine.
It made him sick. Well, he's an older guy in his 60s. And
that's probably just old. That's not the Oculus's fault.
So I said, like, oh, I've never played it before. And he's like, when I find it up in my attic, I'll just give it to you. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, wow.
No, don't say it. Just say, okay, thanks.
Absolutely. Right. I didn't get all super. I'm like, okay, that'd be great. I'm like, man, I feel like I just drank a bunch of W right now, if you know what I mean.
hopefully it's a Quest though, because if it's a Rift, your computer definitely can't run it.
Yeah,
that's for sure. If it's a Quest, the Quest runs wirelessly, like it just runs like everything is self-contained, so you'll be set. But yeah, if it's a Rift, you might need to upgrade your computer there. So
what cool technology? Just it's a side note.
Crazy.
The Rift is, or the
Quest is. I know. I mean, I use mine every day. I work out with it. I do have like a boxing app, and it's like so crazy that I can do it anywhere. I can do it like out in my front yard and up in the living room or down here in my office. Like I can just take that and I can play Beat Saber. I can play anything, like anywhere, and I don't need a computer. It's so crazy.
The fact alone that you can take it anywhere and still have that same experience is incredible.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Like especially so, I always thought the PlayStation VR wasn't that bad. Like everyone talked about the screen door effect. I'm like, yeah, it's there.
It's definitely there. Yeah.
It's definitely there, but it's not bad. And then when the first time I played, the Quest 2, I'm like, holy smokes, this is like another level. And I've played the Rift, and the Rift is even better. But like even the Quest, I'm like, this blows the PSVR out. And this isn't even hooked up to anything. The PSVR is plugged into a PlayStation, and this is all doing it inside the helmet. Like what the heck? Crazy.
VR is cool, man.
So when you say you can take it anywhere, doesn't it have like cords that you're having to plug in?
Not the Quest.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh.
This is it right here.
Okay.
It's all in the headset.
It's just a headset.
Wow.
And just through Bluetooth and like has cameras built in that track your hand controls. Mm-hmm. And then it's all just self-contained. Like it does has a hard drive in there, so you save all the games right to the hard drive and play away.
Processors in there, all of that.
That's amazing. Garrett, I gotta ask you a question though. How much porn have you watching?
Not JJ.
Your mom's not listening. No. Don't worry about that. Let's be honest. Here.
I mean, there is some for it. Let's not look. Let's be real about it, right? There, if it's technology, it's there. Okay, that's what sells technology. That is a proven marketplace fact.
Garrett, can I tell you a scientific fact right now?
Mm-hmm.
2 shades redder after I asked this. So that tells me you checked it out. Yeah, that's science. Science. I just figured
I'm not judging you, man. Right. Do your thing.
Yeah. As long as you realize you can go blind. Just saying.
You can't go blind. Oh my gosh. All right. Sir Prince-a-Lot asks the question, what is the best chocolate bar and why? No, he doesn't say that part. I was going to say, why is it Butterfinger? Butterfinger's the best chocolate bar.
No, Butterfinger doesn't count as a chocolate bar.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
100%
If you're thinking chocolate bar, you're thinking Hershey's, is straight chocolate.
No way. Then that means it's just that means there's just one chocolate bar then, because Hershey, or maybe 2.
There's more than one chocolate. Hold on, bro.
Cadbury makes a chocolate. Cadbury and Hershey's. Those are
they do make chocolate. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
If you just went with candy, what's your favorite candy bar?
Bars.
Chocolate bar.
Ghirardelli makes chocolate bars. Godiva makes chocolate bars.
Dove makes chocolate bars.
Dove, See's Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Lily's.
Walk it on back.
He's not talking about straight 100%. Like no one. Okay. No. Think about it. If I said to you, "What's your favorite chocolate bar?" Like that's not your first thought. Is like, oh, it has to be 100% pure chocolate.
That is my first thought.
No, then you're insane. When someone says
Butterfinger would be a candy bar.
You're crazy. They're the same thing.
No, it's not. If it's the same thing, why is it? Why is there a chocolate bar? Why is there the term chocolate bar and why is there the term candy bar?
Okay, do you think he meant chocolate bar or do you think he meant candy bar?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I just know that there are chocolate bars and there are candy bars.
I don't think I've ever said I don't think the word candy bars ever left my mouth before.
Whoa.
You're joking.
You're full
You're
of
out of your
crap.
mind.
There's
You've
no way.
never said candy bar?
No, I mean I've said candy, but not candy bar. It's a chocolate. It's just
Oh
chocolate.
my
You got chocolate
gosh.
or candy.
Adrian,
Am I crazy,
this is
JJ?
odd. No, this is odd. Look. You two have no right to talk about this anyway. Okay, let's talk from a perspective of an actual fat man who knows.
I'm right there with you, sir.
Who knows obesity and who knows candy and chocolate bars. I've never in my life said chocolate bar before. I've said
Really?
candy bar my entire life. It's always candy
You
bar.
West Coast weirdos, man. I'm going back to the East Coast
Well,
where
now-
we talk normal, like real
now
Queens
I'm-
English, you know?
I'm a Midwest Mongoloid now, buddy. So I'll tell you what. Here, if you were to say candy bar, let's just go off the premise that he's saying, what's your favorite candy bar?
Okay.
I think that it's pretty obvious. There's only one choice. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
See, now
And-
we can get into semantics here. Does that count as a bar?
I believe it does. It's just because it's in a couple of cups. It's chocolate.
You're not
good.
wrong as
Peanut
it
butter,
being
good.
Look, you're not wrong with it being the best candy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making sure I'm looking at Stickler over here.
Oh, yeah, he
and
does
making
kinda
sure
get
that it
all
counts
weird.
as a
You're
bar.
the stickler. You're the stickler.
You're the one that
being all
jammed
weird
me
about
up.
it.
You said you never heard the word candy bar before, Garrett. Come on.
Yeah.
No one
You
says
Nazi.
candy bar.
Nazi.
Oh my
No one
God.
says that.
No one except every commercial ever.
I don't know. It's Skyline
No
in
one
the chat
says candy bar.
Skyline in the chat says JJ, who grew up in the 30s, would get chocolate bar for 5 cents with old pale Tony Two Shoes.
It's true. It's true. And we go to the movie and have like a nickel left over. You know, we're like, whatever.
Okay,
Thank you,
here we go.
Skyline.
Look, Food and Wine magazine. They're gonna do a rundown of the best candy bars. So this will be what counts. Okay.
Okay.
So you got a Heath bar, you got O. Henry, you got a Clark bar, you got Mounds, Baby Ruth,
Mounds is good.
Mounds of Baby
Mounds.
Ruth. Those are both good ones.
Butterfinger,
There you go. Butterfinger.
Milky Way, Charleston Chew, Reese's Cups counts. It's on the candy bar list.
Okay. Snickers on there.
Snickers is there. Three Musketeers is there. Payday, Kit Kat, Crunch Bars, Almond Joys, 100 Grand. That's a JJ candy. Twix, caramel. Oh,
like an
I didn't
old
think
man
about
candy.
Twix.
Dude, it's
I
like
did not
Grandpa.
think about
Grandpa have
Twix.
like the little mini 100 grams, man. You're
Yeah,
killing
JJ,
it.
listen. Wait a minute though. I will see your Reese's and raise you a Twix.
Twix is pretty damn good.
It
No,
is.
It's pretty damn
Butterfinger is the
good.
best. I'm sticking to my
Butterfinger is
guns.
good.
Butterfinger
I'll
is
raise
best.
you a Twix,
It is
though.
good.
No. There's
You said a couple of winners though. Kit Kat is a winner too.
Kit
Oh
Kat's-
yeah, for
There,
sure.
there was a
Kat's
couple
killer.
of real good ones, but then there's some of the ones that are like, Paydays, Mars bars. I don't know, just not a real fan. Heath bar, Clark bar. Nobody eats that stuff. That's old man candy.
Your grandpa does. People's grandpas eat Heath bars.
That's true.
And 100 Grands and Mr. Good bar.
Now,
See-
100 grand or baby. I always get it. Are they're like the same, right? 100 grand.
No,
They're
Baby
like-
Ruth is that. Baby Ruth is the good one.
Baby Ruth is good.
Now,
Baby
what's it-
Ruth
'cause
is the
they're
one that
both-
your
they're both
grandma
co-
would sneak you.
Baby, I know Baby Ruth, but that's probably covered in peanuts and stuff. Isn't 100,
Yeah.
100 grand the same thing?
No, it's like a cluster and it's covered in chocolate. It's like a cluster of nuts, I think, and it's like covered in chocolate. It might have
Oh,
like
so
crisp
instead of having
rice.
peanuts on the outside, as a chocolate on the outside. It's basically the same thing,
Yeah.
just reversed.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know. I'm kind of
Yeah.
leaning. I'm a
Baby Ruth
huge
is good.
Hershey's fan, and when I'm thinking about like an overall best, like Twix has that nice wafer right there in the
It
middle.
does
It's
have
got just
everything.
enough chocolate,
got-
the caramel
So does
on it.
Butterfinger, though.
Butterfinger is also great.
It's the perfect balance of crunch, chocolate, and peanut butter. So it's like taking Reese's and like Twix and smashing them together.
Wait, did you say Reese's?
Yeah.
There's no E on the back. it's Reese.
Are you no get out of here?
It's Reese's.
It's Reese's.
Reese's.
Yeah.
No, it's Reese's.
No, you said it again. That's some East
Didn't you
Coast
watch the
weird
Puffs
stuff,
commercial
man.
with the cereal? Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs. I know you've seen it, Gary. We're almost the same age.
Hey, your chocolate fell into my Reese's. Hey, your Reese's fell into my chocolate. And that's
No,
how
peanut
Reese's
butter.
peanut butter came. Hello? What's wrong with
Now,
you, Garrett?
I will also have an unashamed old man take. You guys can hate me for this, but I'm gonna die on this hill. All right. Mounds is pretty doggone good.
Okay,
Mounds
that's not
great.
old man stuff
Mounds
because
is
I
great.
told you. I already told you Mounds is amazing.
I'm
not an
Mounds
Almond
is
Joy
pretty
guy.
doggone good. Okay?
Mounds is amazing.
Almond
who
Joy,
like coconut?
absolute garbage.
I don't like Almond Joy. Love
Absolute
Mounds.
garbage.
Love Mounds.
Mounds. I'll
Look,
take a couple.
I will at Halloween. I will tax my children like you can't believe on some Mounds bars. I'll be like, all right, and they're like, we don't like coconut. I'm like, good, because you guys
Good, give it.
give it over.
Skyline's making fun of me. He says Reese's PCs. all right. Calm down.
Okay,
everyone.
I think we answered that one. We could be here all night.
I didn't think that question was going to turn into like this fight. I mean, that podcast almost ended.
It's always
it
one
almost
that
ended
does it.
because
it's always one.
It was funny when Sir Prince-Law asked that question in Discord. Kajoma came in and was just like, he posted a gif of like some guy like, oh no, it's like saying it was Toby's reaction to, remember our old Patreon producer Tobin's reaction to more food questions, because he always hated the food questions. I was like, oh, it's been a while. We haven't had food questions in a long time.
We haven't had a good one. That
used to be our staple. We used to strictly talk about food, basically. All right.
Super Gamer Boys Food Podcast.
Yeah. Kajoma asked, here's his question. Was there a game that you didn't customize your character even though you had the option to? Currently playing Spider-Man and haven't really changed my suit because I feel like it changes who the character is. I find this instance interesting. Like it just hit me now because whether he changes the suit or not, like they're all Spider-Man. So I mean, I don't know how that changes, but I get. I mean, you get attached to one suit or one person or what. Like maybe you grow up with a certain suit, like the Sam Raimi suit or the, all the what's the Into the Spider-Verse suit. Maybe you're a big fan of that, whatever. But is there a game though where you guys didn't? You just left your character alone. You're like, you know what? He's perfect the way he is, or she is, or they are.
I have one, but I don't know if it's cheating. Actually, I have two. The first one is Guardians of the Galaxy, the new one that came out.
Okay.
So it may be considered cheating, but I changed all of them once to their movie version skins, and then I didn't touch them again for the rest of the game because in recent memory, those are the Guardians that I'm rolling with, right? So it helped me to get more immersed into it. And that's not to say that the new designs are bad in any way. They're actually really good. I'm not crazy about Blonde Peter Quill, but I can let that slide. But that's just kind of what I wanted to do for the first run, is like it's those Guardians, The second one was Mario Odyssey. I did not change outside of maybe the photo op. You know how like I was doing a little thing when I first played it. I was making postcards.
Right.
I would change it to the costume for the world and take the picture. But during actual gameplay, it was regular Mario suit the whole time.
I didn't with Red Dead 2. So with Red Dead Redemption 2, I never messed with it until after I already beat the game. There was just no need in me messing with the outfit. I liked what he looked like, and I liked as it was getting dirty and just looked like I had been out on the trails for real. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't need to be all gussied up and shaved and all that kind of stuff. I just let him go filthy, like how I would do if I could just get away with it,
Yeah. So like what you've done for the last few unemployed weeks.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not mad at you for it.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I mean, I think the most recent one would be also Spider-Man. I kind of left it the same until I unlocked the Into the Spider-Verse one. That one is so cool. I love that suit. Like I immediately changed it. Like I can't not.
I love how it changes the frame rate. Yeah, it is so cool.
So freaking cool. And then the other one is Death Stranding. It doesn't have a ton of customization, but it's like you can change the colors of your exoskeleton, your glasses. You can change the color of your backpack. You can add patches, stuff like that. So there's some custom, things you can customize there. I just left it the same. I was like, I don't need all this crazy stuff. Like I think when you pre-order it, like I even got like the gold, special gold color scheme and stuff. You can only get through that. And I was like, no, I'm just going to keep it straight. So Yeah, I don't think my reasoning is because I felt like it changed who the character was, but I also didn't. It also seems weird because like you can change the sunglasses to like this hot neon orange color. It's like I didn't want like the middle of the cutscene, the serious cutscene, and like Sam's indoors wearing these goofy sunglasses that are just like neon orange, like construction worker vest orange or something like that. So I kept it pretty
Speaking
basic.
Of that game, did Monster ever come back, or
no,
was that brand deal over?
It was just with the original one. Once directors, so if you buy the original version of the game, like just standard Death Stranding, it has Monster. If you buy the director's cut, it has Bridge Energy. It's called. So yeah. So if you want Monster Energy, buy the original version on either.
Yikes, Kojima going broke. Can't even afford a sponsor deal anymore. Oof.
On PS4.
Kojima Productions doing bad out here.
Yeah, and I wonder with the Death Stranding that's coming to Game Pass tomorrow, I wonder if it'll be the director's cut or if it's just the base one. Because if it's the base one, that you might have Monster Energy drink on that one.
They didn't say, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if they said. If it's the director's cut, then it'll be Bridges Energy. But dude, yeah, I love that going in this big old cans of Monster Energy.
Highly rendered Monster Energy like, cans.
The most gorgeous like HD like model you've ever seen of a freaking soda can.
So Adrian, have you played Death Stranding before? Or
yeah.
Okay, so you have played it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, you don't have any excuse. Oh, no, wait, it's for PC. Shoot. I thought it was just regular Game Pass.
No, it's just Game Pass for PC.
I wonder why.
No, I played
because,
it on PlayStation.
Because
I have the PS4 version.
Yeah, that's right. You have well, if you have PlayStation Plus, it's free now on the PlayStation Plus subscription thing. I think the reason it's only on Game Pass for PC is because I think the deal was made with 505. They published it on PC. So where the PlayStation version, the console version, it was published by PlayStation. The PC version was technically published by 505 Games. So because I even saw the tweet PC for Game Pass, their Twitter account put out a tweet, and in the one of the replies to the comments was from 505 Games, who's a publisher on PC. By the way, I retweeted them as well and made some comment, and PC for Game Pass responded to me. I was
really?
like so stoked. Let me bring it up. It's something like get your boots laced up and get ready for an adventure or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, let's freaking get it.
Did they say we also didn't forget 505 about that stunt you pulled with Control? And while this is cool, nobody forgot about that. How you made people pay for Control Ultimate Edition when it should have been Smart Delivery.
Let's see. Okay,
the North remembers 505.
The North remembers. So I tweeted, I'm so freaking hyped. I literally jumped up and down in excitement when I saw this. Go play Death Stranding. You have no excuses. And then they responded, lace up those hiking boots for your joy jumping. It's like, heck yeah. And then I also tweeted out today, if you're friends with me and you aren't playing this game tomorrow, are we even friends? So there, everyone think about that. If you know me and you're not playing Death Stranding tomorrow.
What if I told you I already had it loaded up?
I mean, you're good because you've played it you've played it other places. I know you're good.
I played it day one.
Yeah, you freaking hooked me up with this collector's edition. You're the reason I have BB here on my shelf. So
nobody can say I'm not a fan. All right.
Yeah, you and I are good. All right. It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy news.
So good. All right, this first
I thought about doing a reggae version of that. I feel like that's where I'm at right now.
Nerdy nudes, man. I guarantee that's where you were going.
It's now time for the nerdy news.
How are you so good at some other accents, but your Jamaican is just
not
terrible?
Not there, yeah.
It's not actually that bad. I'm doing it bad on purpose. So
somehow.
Hey man, tell you what, a lot of times you try to do this voice and you try not to make everybody upset. No, now I am sounding Indian. Oh my God! It's one voice I can't do.
See,
it's the one voice. That's
we found your kryptonite.
No, why do you not? You know, a lot of people they are living over there. You know, and maybe they are doing it like this. You know.
See, your Indian's not half bad, but your Jamaican is awful. It needs some work, my man.
Yeah. I'm retiring it. I'll never try it again.
Never. It's probably for the better.
Well, practice a little bit and then come back and we'll reevaluate, see where you're at, give you some notes.
take a couple weeks, get some practice in.
I've never needed notes before on that, guys. I feel like my confidence has been shaken.
No, we're trying to help you do better.
I'm going to need to do a couple more lines of that Dubby energy.
That's the point of us being a team, is we help each other with our strengths. You know what I mean? We all come up together.
Oh, yeah. Like rock hard, right?
Yeah, like
you picking up what we're putting down? Dubby.
Mm-hmm.
This first news story comes to us from Polygon, written by Ollie Welsh, and they write, "The Lord of the Rings has a new rights owner. What does that mean?" Embracer Group, the ambitious, acquisition-hungry Swedish gaming conglomerate, has bought the rights to make films, games, merchandise, and theme parks based on J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. The deal comes as a surprise, reporting on the anticipated sale of the rights by the Saul Zaentz company earlier this year. Variety said the buyer was expected to be a Hollywood studio or tech giant. Amazon, which is about to debut its streaming series, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, was a prime candidate. Variety also said the rights were expected to sell for at least $2 billion. Although the purchase price was undisclosed, it appears that Embracer Group has acquired Middle-earth Enterprises, the Zaentz company subsidiary that owns the rights, for significantly less than that. Embracer announced the deal alongside 5 other smaller acquisitions: Limited Run Games, Tripwire Interactive, Singtrix, and Tuxedo Labs. The 6th and final acquisition remains a secret for now, but Embracer said it was the 3rd or 4th largest of the deal, so it's not major. In a financial note, Embracer said that the likely cost of acquiring the 6 businesses over a period of time is expected to be 8.2 billion Swedish krona, which is about
right.
I don't know, like $500 or so, probably.
Yeah, right. And like a stick of old juicy fruit.
No, it says which is around $788 million, which is that's crazy. 8.2 billion Swedish krona is only. It's not even.
No, but that's way lower than the purported like 2 billion.
Oh yeah, no, which is great, and that's all 6 businesses. That's not even just the. So they basically got the steal of the lifetime Lord of the Rings franchise. Like I don't know how they got away with that. Highway
I feel
robbery.
like this is a much. I mean, those movies have made more money than that. I feel like this is a much bigger deal than anybody realizes. I mean, they had like 6 films with the 3 Hobbit films and the other films, and now the Rings of Power. I'm a huge Hobbit fan, big time Lord of the Rings fan. I love that world that J.R.R. Tolkien made, and I think that there's a lot of money in that franchise, and I don't feel like the Hobbit movies did very well. Splitting up the Hobbit book into 3 films, I never actually even watched them, and I love.
Well, quality-wise, they weren't great either.
Well, and it felt like a money grab at the time, and it felt like splitting up
Pretty much.
It's an incredible story, The Hobbit. I've read that book numerous times. I've read it to my kids many, many times, and it just felt like a money grab. It's like, okay, you're splitting it up into 3 films. Like, I don't think it's that necessary. It's such a great story. And so with the Rings of Power on Amazon, it's one of the reasons I've kept the Amazon Prime the InstaView so I could like watch the Prime Video, is because of Rings of Power. I think it's coming out on September 2nd. So
it's coming out
days away.
Weeks. Awesome.
And see, that's sad. I know what day it's coming out. You know, like what does that tell you? Is that like I'm looking forward to it? What's that going to mean with it being sold? Are they going to air 1 season or drop like 1 season and then be owned by somebody else? And this is gone?
I think it just gives them that option to do that if they want.
Let me continue here. There is a part here. There's kind of 2 clarifications, one for publishing, one for TV. So I'll get to TV right now since that's what we're talking about. TV rights are another major exclusion. Per Variety, the right to produce a TV series longer than 8 episodes was carved out of the deal Tolkien's estate made with Saul Zaentz back in the 1970s, meaning that Amazon was able to deal with the estate directly. So Amazon didn't have to talk to WB, New Line Cinema, the Saul Zaentz, anyone. Like they could just go straight to Mr. Tolkien's family, basically, and make a deal with them because of this deal back from the 70s when it brought those rights in 2017. cutting Middle-earth Enterprises out of the deal. Nevertheless, Embracer says Middle-earth Enterprises has financial interest in the Rings of Power as well as in Warner Brothers' upcoming animated film, The War of the Rohirrim, and EA's in-development mobile game, Heroes of Middle-earth. And then there is some stuff on publishing rights as well. Publishing rights to the book themselves aren't included. They remain with the Tolkien estate and publisher HarperCollins. The licensing rights to Tolkien's other Middle-earth works, as Silmarillion and the Unfinished Tales of Numenor and Middle-earth, are also still controlled by the Tolkien estate and HarperCollins, although Embracer says it now owns matching rights to these works, meaning it has the right to match any offer the owners may get from elsewhere. So it's strictly just films, games, merchandise, and theme parks. So yeah, TV shows specifically, and the books are off limits. But
so that makes all the sense in the world. That's a little bit different, and I can see where the evaluation of the money comes in. Like now, that's a little bit different than getting all of the IP.
I mean, but film is huge. A lot of the like those Lord of the Rings films made tons of money. So if they could make enough more quality Lord of the Rings films like they've made it before, it's a steal. It's a steal in that sense, even just in that one facet. Like it's crazy, but
they could, in a way, if they took that universe and similar to Rings of Power, created in that world and in that universe an entire new story. The only other thing they could do is take the pre-existing stories that he wrote, The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and potentially remake them. But I think that would be a very bad move at this point, because those, at least Lord of the Rings movies are beloved, and you wouldn't want to touch them.
And they still hold up. You watch them
absolutely
today, and
they're very, very much.
The effects, the practical and digital effects that they use, are at way beyond their time. I
think Hobbit. I'm sorry.
Lord of the Rings, yes.
Yeah, and Lord of the Rings, yeah. I think Hobbit can be redone. I think that Hobbit can be redone, and I think that they'd be
we're going to need way more time before that happens.
Oh,
sure.
Sure.
Those came out in, I think, the 2010s. Maybe 2030s, I can see.
Yeah, it's been less than 10 years since those movies came out.
But keep this in mind. Having said that, they can still do Lord of the Rings animated versions. They could do the Hobbit animated versions with updated. Those animated versions were really popular in the early 80s. I don't know if you guys ever saw them, but the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings were animated before. They're not the greatest animations in the world, but they were very, very popular. Yeah. And there are people that love this universe, that love this world far more than me, and that would definitely love, and that love animation as well, and that would love to have an animated version of it.
I'm of the mind where there's always room for improvement, right? There's always room for something to be redone or remade and another version or another vision to come to it. But in my opinion, I don't think that you can have a better realized version of the Lord of the Rings books than the movies. At least in our timeline, in our time, I should say, our modern time. I think it's gonna take an advancement in the way that films are consumed.
You're speaking you're talking in terms of a remake of the movie, the original trilogy kind of thing. You mean I agree with you. I don't think there's any way
we're not there yet
ever. It's going to be decades before I think we could ever touch those again. Those are straight up classic. It'd be remaking I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something that's highly revered just in cinema in general, like Citizen Kane or something. Imagine if they remade, people would probably lose their minds or something. What? No, that's to the top of the line, video, cinematography and all this stuff. That'd be crazy. You wouldn't do that with Lord of the Rings.
But also, to Adrian's point, there hasn't been enough advancement in how we consume the information, whether it be in the video form like that, in the film version, but also there hasn't been that big of an advancement in film. Okay, the camera work is a little bit better and stronger and more crisp and more of the 1080p and then 4K and all that resolution stuff is higher now, but it's not a big enough gap. It's like going from the PS4 to the PS5 and going there's some improvements, but it's just
not enough to warrant.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I think it'll take something the likes of, I don't know if you guys have ever watched any Star Trek, but there's a room on the ship called the holodeck, right, where It'll take you to any time and any place that you want to go, and it'll make you feel like you're actually there. Like you can walk around in there, you can feel objects, you can talk to people. It's all in like an AI generated program. And I think it'll take something of that kind of a leap to warrant a retelling of that story that could be as effective as this one is at realizing that world. In my opinion, I don't know if you guys feel the same.
No, I think Lord of the Rings is film-wise is untouchable unless it's a totally new project. Like as far as a remake, I think it's completely untouchable. Those first 3 books, like what's done is done, and what was done was incredible. Like I think if there's any sort of movies that ever came out again for Lord of the Rings, it would have to be a completely new, disconnected story or based off a different book that he wrote. Like I don't know if it's possible, but like the
Silmarillion
or something like I don't even think
that book
like,
gets way in the weeds.
Yeah, I don't.
Really
that's what I was saying. Like I don't think that would really work. But like that's
why that book is not popular with the same. I mean, to the same degree in any form that Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit are.
Yeah,
the Silmarillion is just
it's
hard.
Like
it's a hard read.
Yeah. What I am stoked about though is like the games rights too. Like back in the day, the Lord of the Rings games were so good. Like Battle for Middle Earth on PC,
Shadow of Mordor, and stuff from that.
But even earlier, like the PS2 games that came out, like the Return of the King game that came out. There was one that was
there was an RTS. Remember the RTSs?
Well, Battle for Middle Earth was the RTS on PC. Yeah, that was really good. But there was also like an RPG that was like Final Fantasy-esque, but it was Lord of the Rings, and I love that, like the turn-based, combat and everything. Level up your characters, oh man. So I'm stoked and really hoping like they dump a bunch of cash into making more Lord of the Rings games because they were always fantastic. There's
Shadow
a couple.
of War wasn't too great, but Shadow of Mordor was awesome.
Yeah. So I hope they kind of kick some funds into that because I miss good Lord of the Rings games. I miss Lord of the Rings.
At the end of the day, Embracer, as long as they don't screw it up, have at it. Yeah. If exactly. Warner isn't going to do anything with it, hey, take it and run with it.
Yeah.
As long as we don't get any like Lord of the Rings games that are like a pod racer or like one of those
pod racer is good.
What
do you mean?
The Star Wars. I don't know.
Star Wars Pod Racer is not a good game.
Star Wars Pod Racer is fantastic. At least the second one. I never played the first one, but Pod Racer Revenge.
Okay, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of like that Star Wars like Mario Kart kind of thing where they had the little kart racer. Is what I'm talking. Where they had
with the big heads.
Yeah,
that
that's
game
what
was
I was
great.
thinking.
That game was great too, though. That game was. I'm not gonna lie. That game was great too. That was one we never owned it. We would regularly rent from Blockbuster like constantly because it was so good.
Okay, that's nostalgia talking. That's what you were doing at that point. But that game is not good. It's not good then. It's not good now. And so all I'm saying is, if they're gonna come up with some games, don't just take a crappy game that you've been working on.
We don't need a Lord of the Rings kart racer.
Right.
No, don't be slapping Lord of the Rings on the stupid
I need a Lord of the Rings rhythm game, please.
Hobbit kart. Oh, man.
Can we get Lord of the Rings baseball?
Oh, man.
Actually, that might work. That might work. And they're in the Shire. And
it's like a Major League Baseball league in the Shire.
You might have landed on something here. You might have landed on things. It was like stickball, dude. Like
you could get guest pitchers. Like you could have Gandalf come in and do like a magical spell as a pitch. I'm just
dude, it could work. Look at that. Let's start workshopping that. Get that when we get Super Gamer Boy games going. And
you can have different teams. You can have the Tooks. You can have the Baggins, you can have, you know what I'm saying?
So good. Yeah, instead of teams, it's like family lines.
It's families, yeah.
Maybe
call me.
Maybe
Embracer, call me.
Yep.
All right. This next news story comes from Polygon as well, written by Michael McWhirter. Dead Island 2 is back? What?
From the dead.
Dead Island 2, the zombie action RPG, announced in 2014. That's right.
That's crazy.
Almost
8 years.
8 years ago, 9 years ago almost. And originally planned for at least the following year. It's supposed to come out in 2015. before mostly disappearing from the public consciousness, appears to be back. A new listing for the Deep Silver published game has appeared on Amazon, including a new screenshot and a since-deleted description of the long-awaited sequel to 2011's Dead Island. That listing also noted a release date of February 3rd, 2023. It's worth noting that the newly leaked listing for Dead Island 2 is separate from existing listings for Dead Island 2. So there's two listings on Amazon. There's one that's been there for the past 8 years, and it's listed for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And then there's this new one, which is for PS5 and Xbox Series games. The existing listings has a placeholder of December 31st. So there is a discrepancy in the dates, but I would tend to trust the one that was more recent, the one that says February, just uploaded the other day. According to the description of the game, which has been removed from the Dead Island 2 listing, players will have 6 characters to choose from, each with their own unique personality and dialogue. A deadly virus is spreading across Los Angeles, turning its inhabitants into ravenous zombies. The city is in quarantine and the military have retreated, bitten, infected, but more than just immune. You learn to harness the zombie inside. Only you and the handful of other swaggering fellows who have to be resistant to the pathogen holds the future of LA and humanity in the balance. As you uncover the truth behind the outbreak, you'll discover who or what you are. Survive, evolve, save the world. Just another day in LA. Now, I'm really kind of like, it just seems weird to put a game that's called Dead Island that's supposed to take place on an island, and now it's in LA, which isn't an island. It's kind of a weird thing. And I mean, they're kind of just
they're bending the rules a little bit.
And now you're a zombie now too, because that definitely wasn't a thing in the first one either.
No, it wasn't.
You did not have zombie part. I love the first one. So what was awesome, I played love the first game, and it takes place on basically a fictionalized version of Papua New Guinea, which is like where I lived, for a couple of years. So I was like, this is so crazy. Imagine if a zombie outbreak actually happened while I'm living here. That'd be so crazy. I was just a dumb kid, but I just thought that was always cool. And that made sense. It was on an island, and now they're like coming to America. But yeah,
are you stoked for this?
Do you guys? I'm stoked for this. Either way, it sounds goofy, but I'm excited. I really loved the gameplay mechanics and stuff in the first one. Like it's not like your typical just zombie game. Like there was so much more to it. They take the RPG aspect seriously. And at the time, like my favorite games at the time were like Fallout and stuff like that. So it felt very similar to that, but with zombies. But do you guys have experience with any of the Dead Island games? Because there's Dead Island, and then Dead Island Riptide was almost like a 1.5 that came out.
I played Dead Island, just the original, and I loved it. I thought it was really fun. It's one of those games that I love zombie games, and especially at that time, playing that type of game, it was very special. I love it. I look forward to part 2. I never heard part 2 was coming out before. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. It's just weird that they announced it in 2014 and then waited this long. It's like a whole nother generation has come through.
And it's had a lot of issues. It's been like development hell a little bit. I think the article even says,
I hope it's a whole new game and not like they've been working on the same crap,
Yeah, since that time, the game has changed hands from original. So the original developer was Jaeger, then it went to Sumo Digital, and then it went to Dambuster Studios, the Deep Silver-owned studio that previously took over development of Homefront: The Revolution from Crytek. So yeah, it's basically changed hands, 3 or 4 different times, different developers over the last 8 years. So that's why it's not come out, is because it's literally, a handful of developers have all been messing with it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of mess it might be in. I'm kind of like you just never know. Like, is it going to be did each developer just start over when they got a hold of it, or are they all trying to cobble together this corpse, with all these different pieces? It's more like a Frankenstein's monster than a zombie game, I don't know. Did you play the Dead Island games, Adrian?
Those are actually ones that I missed out on, but I vividly remember when the first trailer came out and the whole reveal that it was being played in reverse with the woman. Remember, she was falling out of the building, but she was falling up.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I was trying to remember. I was like, okay. Yeah.
And it starts like that, and then it goes through the whole thing, playing the whole like zombie invasion backwards. It was rad.
Yeah, the trailers were always super, super awesome. Even like the teaser trailer that came out for Dead Island 2 back in 2014 was like super awesome. So it's always been like something they've always nailed. Just the look and aesthetic of that. But yeah, I'm excited for this. If anything, heck, even if it never comes out, we always have the first two. Well, Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide, and they're always on sale on PlayStation Store and Xbox and stuff, so get them for dirt cheap. So if you haven't played them, go check them out. All right, this last news story. Another little announcement from a developer we know and love. Crash Bandicoot developer Toys for Bob seemingly teasing a new game. Activision's developer Toys for Bob is seemingly working on something new. This article comes from IGN, written by Ryan Leston. The company recently released the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy before getting to work on the well-received Crash Bandicoot 4. But as with most Activision studios, Toys for Bob was drafted into work on Call of Duty last year, something that appeared to prompt some members of staff to leave. Now it looks as though the developer would get the chance to make something new again. Teasing an upcoming new game via Twitter, the company purposely left space for their new project on a list of all its previous games. But could it be? Well, for one thing, it's unlikely to be a new Call of Duty game, although the studio was proud to work on the development of Season 3 for Warzone. Call of Duty doesn't appear on the list of Toys for Bob games anywhere. Clearly, the studio doesn't feel it's
real proud.
Clearly the studio doesn't feel it's one of the main projects and feels it's unlikely that Toys for Bob would be quite so keen to roll out the red carpet for another installment. Instead, it seems far more likely that we'll be seeing another Crash Bandicoot sequel or spin-off on the horizon, even if a number of Crash Bandicoot 4 designers and developers have since moved on. Other popular candidates include Skylanders game or even Spyro, given Toys for Bob's worked on Spyro Reignited trilogy back in 2018. What are some of you guys' thoughts on this? I'm actually leaning more towards the Spyro possibility. If they follow the same footsteps that they did with Crash, they kind of did the remaster of the old games and then made the sequel.
Like, you think we're getting an official Spyro 4?
Right, yes.
I mean, there have been Spyro games after, just like there have been Crash games
there's been
after 3.
A lot of weird spin-offs,
This will be Spyro 4.
That's what I think we could possibly see. Although, is Spyro actually owned by
Activision?
Isn't it? It was originally Insomniac.
Right. I don't think they still own it though.
But okay, so it is owned by Activision now?
I believe.
Okay.
I believe they have Crash and Spyro. Because that was the big thing about everybody. Remember when the deal went through with Xbox? They were like, "Oh, Xbox owns Crash and Spyro."
I remember people talking about Crash, but I didn't remember. I didn't hear Spyro. But yeah, I mean, either way, like it'd be. I would love to see another Spyro game. I love the original ones. There's tons of fun.
I'm leaning more towards it's probably going to be a Crash game, and it's going to be a Crash game where it's like a Call of Duty mashup, where he actually joins the army, and then like you get the first person Crash Bandicoot getting in there and him working with guns and like him getting a little PTSD and basically going on a crazy meth run or dubby, like whichever one he's addicted to. Not that it's addictive, but I mean, it could happen. You never know. I was thinking something like that.
Right.
Spyro is an Activision character. It was.
Yeah, I just saw that too. Yeah, I see that after Vivendi, it's with Activision now. I mean, I think it could be Spyro 4. I mean, I would love to get another Crash. Crash games are always fun, but yeah, we haven't had a new Spyro game in forever. Like it's been a while, at least a mainline one. So to get an official 4, that'd be awesome. Yeah, the last official release was in 2008, and yeah, like Adrian was saying, like it was more of a spin-off. Like it wasn't like a official. This is. A numbered release. So
does it come across like it's kind of an odd thing though with them? And I'm not pushing one way or the other, but with them having access to Crash, with Xbox having the ability to create games that are Crash Bandicoot games on the Xbox system that don't go to PlayStation, that just to me mind blowing. boggles the mind that that's a possibility.
It's absolutely a possibility. The only thing I would say right now is probably don't. Because Microsoft has a lot of games on their plate right now that are being delayed because they can't get them out in time.
Yeah.
So let's worry about getting this slate out the door first and making sure that they're not 6 out of 10s like most of the Microsoft Studios games have been this generation. And, then we can talk about a Spyro or a Crash, in the future. But they've got a lot of other irons in the fire right now that they need to worry about. I'm not saying I'm not down for one. I'm just saying I'm not down for one right now. Microsoft has a lot going on. Too much.
What do you think their issue is that they're having these games come out and so much of it's being delayed, and then when they come out, they're not premium optimum games? Whereas when PlayStation is putting the games out, this isn't to be a Sony pony, Adrian.
No. I agree.
When they're putting the games out, they're polished, dude. It's like they're extremely polished, and they're ready to go. I mean, they're with some exceptions, obviously, but for the most part, it's like they're ready. They're ready to go.
I think it's Phil spreading himself too thin. I don't think that there's enough upper management at Xbox that PlayStation has, kind of, where PlayStation has like a Shuhei Yoshida, where he kind of goes around to different studios around the world and checks in with them, and then he reports back to Jim, lets him know what's going on. Phil, while I admire his character and him wanting to be hands-on and wanting him to be like, hey, yo, wanting studios when he shows up to be like, yo, Phil's here. At the same time, you can't do that and then run a multi-country, multi-billion-dollar game company. Your time, it gets spread too thin. You can't have eyes on everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that is the big thing with Xbox right now is because even with the Activision deal that's going to be coming up there, he's going to have them all reporting to him directly, all the top brass at Activision and Blizzard. And that's even more stuff on his plate now. So I think it's a delegation thing. I think things are slipping through the cracks because everybody at Xbox is so busy trying to do this with all the different studios. And there's not enough people to just go, hey, this team specifically watches over the Coalition. This team specifically watches over X. This team specifically watches over this developer. And then they let me know an overview of what's going on and let me know when and if I need to step in.
And I don't know if the rubber meets the road.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they may have that in place, but I don't think it's as robust as it needs to be.
No,
and I think the quality is suffering because of that.
Sony has that infrastructure, and they've been doing it longer, and they have everything already built up to hold everything up. And you're right.
Granted,
Xbox
some Xbox executives may be like, we already do have that. Well, it's not proven effective, buddy.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got to change something, but it ain't working.
They've got it fine-toothed or whittled down to like a fine-tooth comb over at Sony because they've been doing it for a while and they've got everything. But I think you really landed on it right now. That's what it comes down to, is that they have that infrastructure over at Sony, and that stuff just isn't there with Phil and the team at Xbox. And it's because they're new and they're taking on so much. They keep buying and acquiring all of this stuff. And
it's cool.
Just stay in your lane. Just stay in your lane.
It's cool. And it's cool to hear about. But real talk, I honestly don't think they should have. At least right now, I don't think they should have bought Activision at this point. I think they had enough going on with the studios that they had. And bringing on Activision brings on like dozens and dozens of more studios that they have to manage now. On top of the 20-something they had before this. And I just don't think that, granted, even with Microsoft being a $1 trillion company that could scale up to do this, they're just not doing it for some reason.
Right.
And I don't know if it's that and them not attracting talent good enough to make these 10 out of 10 games like Sony is doing. But some gear is not turning at Microsoft.
Yeah. Stuff's not adding up. It doesn't make sense because it's like they have the money, It seems like they should have the infrastructure. They have some amazing people who are out front, and like the visible people look like Phil Spencer and all these people are like, okay, like they got things together, and then they're putting out the games. It's like, how does all this awesome stuff that we are seeing, and then they're pooping out these like kind of like mediocre games? It's like, I don't
the medium
understand.
sucks.
What's
Halo
happening?
sucks.
What's happening?
Starfield got delayed.
Yeah, there's like
Redfall got delayed.
It's crazy.
We don't know when Hellblade's coming out.
Yeah.
Wait, Starfield got delayed again?
Yeah, I thought you knew that.
No, I'm just messing.
Oh,
yeah.
I just wanted to see if Garrett get pissed off again. Like just
not this year, coming out next year.
Yeah, so that's kind of what Xbox has going on right now, and that's also why I talked about it at the top of the show. Is like, I don't even know, honestly, with having access to a PC, if my Xbox is long for this world. I'd rather give it up and have somebody who actually is gonna play it than it just sit there and be a Netflix box for me.
Is that kind of all you're really using it for? Is just media?
Yeah.
Wow. I use
everything
it for
that
media.
I wanted to play came out and it wasn't good. Halo was like the big kicker for me to put that 500 down, and it came out and it was mid at best.
Yeah.
And they never updated the multiplayer. They don't even have Forge. Forge has been out in games from 10 plus years ago. Co-op campaign. There was co-op campaign, what, in 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the original Xbox. And you don't have it here in a system that's hundreds of times more powerful?
I wasn't a huge fan of Infinite. I felt like Halo was okay. It wasn't great. And it's funny, I know people who are Halo fanboys that just swear that it was the very best game ever.
Oh, dude,
I'm like,
1, 2, and 3?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 are incredible. Like top tier, best. Like,
thousands of hours I spent in those games.
Like those games compete with Call of Duty right there. 1, 2, and 3 of Halo, that'll give Call of Duty the first person.
If Halo stayed on the same trajectory the whole time, Call of Duty would have had a much harder time in the marketplace. But yeah,
it's crazy. Yep. So
get together, Xbox. I'm always rooting for you, dude. But you got to do something here. Something ain't working.
Figure it out. Although they're doing some things right. They got Death Stranding coming to get to Game Pass for PC. So
and they got Game Pass itself. Game Pass itself is phenomenal.
Game Pass is great.
But again, that's because they heard from the Super Gamer Boys and
hopefully they hear me now. And Phil sits back like this and goes, you know what? He's right. And we get a news article.
I feel like Phil's
Xbox
real voice is like Dr. Evil.
Teams.
I feel like his real voice is like Dr. Evil, and then like he does that he's like, the whole thing is
right.
I really like what that Adrian has to say.
Sharon, fly him to Redmond.
Oh, that'll be the day.
Wouldn't it?
So good. All right. Well, that's all we got for the news this week. Now, it's time for our ad. This is a part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there, starting just $1 a month. You can get episodes early and ad-free like this show, our Super Gamer Book Club show hosted by Adrian. You can also get show notes early and know what we're going to talk about on the show. Leave your own question, comments, concerns straight on the doc. Leave your own thoughts on the news articles we're going to be talking about, all that stuff. Get over there, support us on Patreon. You can kind of see behind the curtain a little bit. We have our sponsor tier, you get shout outs on the show, and our Patreon producer tier, $15 a month, and you can be our boss. Pitch a little segment, tell us what you want us to try, what you want us to do on the show, and we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. And yeah, it's always a blast. We appreciate our producers and the fun little ideas that they give us from time to time. So
what position you want us to get into, what outfits you want us to wear.
Sponsored by W Energy.
Position in football. He's talking about Madden. We play Madden once in a while, and yeah.
No, I meant
don't ever lie like that again. Don't you ever lie like that. We play Madden. Stop it.
Yeah, I play the sports ball once in a while, you know. You can also support us by heading over to, if you're watching us live here right now at twitch.tv/the Super Gamer Boys, or if you're listening later on podcast services, head over to that site I just mentioned and follow us, please. That's free. But you can also subscribe for free. Normally it's $5, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Twitch account with Prime Gaming. And then you know what that gives you is the Prime Gaming sub. Free for you. We get $5. So it doesn't, the only hassle it costs you is the 30 seconds it takes to log in, and you give us a free $5 that otherwise is going to sit there and go back to Jeff Bezos and his space race against Elon Musk. So might as well send it over to us, right? You know us, you don't know Jeff Bezos. So
he's just going to use it to go to space.
Yeah, he's going to use it to go to space. Who wants to go to space? It's lame. You can just watch Star Wars. It's way cooler. You can also support us by buying Dubby Energy. We are partners with Dubby Energy.
Dubby Energy. You want your control stick to drift? No, nobody wants their control stick. There you go. Hold it up, Garrett.
If you need confidence where it counts, and who doesn't? Who doesn't need a little extra confidence in the bedroom? Well, Dubby does that for you. Here's the deal. Scientifically proven. Scientists have made this a thing. You could drink it by putting it into water and consume it that way, and it'll give you energy, and there's no crash. Yeah, that's great. Or you could cut it up with a razor blade like you would meth and line it up into little lines, and then take a straw that you've cut with that same razor blade probably, and then snort that stuff. It burns a little bit, but I'll tell you what, it'll make that joystick just stand up straight to attention like that little soldier.
Zero drift.
Zero. It's doing exactly what it's meant to do. Dubby energy drink. Get it.
There you go, Garrett.
Is there like an app that you need to do for us on that?
I mean, I was going to mention that you go to dubby.gg. That's their website. Make sure to use code SGB to get 10% off, and it helps us. We get a little kickback as well. So if you want to support us, buy some good energy that may or may not do the things that JJ said. Those statements are not condoned or supported by any sort of scientific research or by Dubby Energy. Those thoughts and opinions are solely JJ's, no one else's.
I mean, it's on the back. If you look real close on the back,
close. And your partner will get a little kickback, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean by that.
Yes, sir. You guys could game all night long.
Go over to W Energy, buy some energy drinks. It's tasty.
It's like a baby's arm making a fist, or like holding an apple.
No sugars, gluten-free, all the things. It's great. And it has Neurofactor. I don't know what Neurofactor is, but it's supposed to help you think good. And let me tell you, I drink this when I work, and it helps me think good. So
yeah, that's the Neurofactor.
It's talking about that other head, Garrett. Yeah, stuff is amazing. And here's the deal. I don't know if you know this. It tastes good too.
Tastes great. They just restocked Galaxy Grenade, and it's watermelon, guava, and lime explosion. It's fantastic.
Yeah!
Also, you're saying the Neurofactor causes explosions, huh?
It writes itself. It writes itself.
Explosive gaming energy.
All right.
Brought to you by Dubby. That's a reason Dubby starts with a D.
It's time. I think that's it for our ad.
God, I love Dubby so much.
All right, we are back from our ad segment. Hopefully we never have to do that again, Psych. We got to do it every week because that's the only way we can support ourselves. So unfortunately, I have another week before I have to live that hell again. But now it's time for me to ask JJ, what you playing?
I've been playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. And dude, this is actually the first time I ever played it. I didn't play it on the PS2 and stuff like that. This is my first go-round. PlayStation Plus just dropped it recently. It was this month's game. And I was playing part 1, Tony Hawk 1 with my son. And he came in and he was like, oh, that looks so dumb. And then he started doing it.
Dumb?
Yeah,
he's
young. And he's never ridden a skateboard or anything like that. But after playing that game with me for an hour, he legitimately said, Dad, I want to get a skateboard. And I thought, dude, that's exactly what this is all about. And of course, I said no. But still.
Why?
What?
I'm gonna send him one.
He's a Purdum. Like, he will break something. You know, like, he will fall and it will cost me money.
You're saying he hasn't lived is what you're telling me.
No, I taped the boy up at night.
That's why he plays
don't
Fortnite
move.
all day.
You're raising a bubble boy, huh?
I'm a helicopter dad. I'm a complete
helicopter.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I make the bed for him. If he was sitting on the pot and yelled to me like, "Dad, come wipe my butt," I would totally do it. I'm a helicopter dad. Yeah,
this guy.
I'm bad.
That's all right. Well, no comment. No, just kidding. I'm glad you're playing Tony Hawk. That's a fantastic
it's fun,
game.
Man.
Yeah, those games rule.
I really enjoyed the remake too. Like I wasn't sure about it. I'm like, I don't know. Like there's some magic in those original ones. Like, and the last few Tony Hawk games have not been good. I was like, don't do them dirty.
5. Holy God.
It's like, do not do them dirty. There's no need to like ruin this franchise. And then they came out and they were like actually good. I'm like, oh my gosh, they did it. They recreated these old ones with that same magic. The soundtrack's not quite the same. They weren't able to, some of that music was like licensed music and stuff like that. But man, they came pretty dang close to kind of recreating that nostalgia, at least for me. I loved it.
That would be the only thing that I could tell you that for me was super lacking. Was I remember going to friends' houses and the game being on and that music playing, and like that's not there. So that kind of sucks. But it's to be expected with licensing.
Yeah,
well, I'm just saying the majority of like the stuff that I remember hearing when I would be around, I'm like, I'm not hearing any of that stuff. It's like there's like generic versions of instrumental stuff. So, but it's great. They did a great job with it. It's updated and it's still incredibly fun. And I'm glad that I'm able to like I said, show it to my kid, showing the next generation like this sweet game. And he's like, "Who's Tony Hawk?" And that's when I slapped him. And,
you can tell
when my son ever asks me that, I'm just gonna like lay down and die. Like
your son has a legitimate but he has a legitimate.
I know, but it's at that moment that I realize that I'm old. Like when he's like, "Who's Tony Hawk?" And I'm
then all you gotta do is show him all those videos of him ripping it up.
What? I'm dying. Just fade away into dust.
You could tell whoever made or whoever's was project lead on 1 and 2 remake played a lot of the original because it feels just like the original 1 and 2.
Yep.
I mean, of course it's cleaned up and it, physics are modernized, but a lot of that muscle memory that you have from there, it comes back and it still works how it used to work, and it feels how it used to feel.
So good.
I ate it a lot off the board. I just want you guys to know that. Like I was eating.
That was part of it. That's how you get good. That's how you hit those insane 250,000 line grinds and stuff like that.
I didn't hit any of those, by the way.
Oh, you will. Keep playing.
Full transparency.
Get better and better.
I'll keep playing. I just want to be completely transparent. I was not like killing it.
There was one summer I played nothing but American Wasteland. I was a god at it by the end of the summer. That's awesome. I was so good at it.
So good. Adrian, what have you been playing?
Gentlemen, I have news. Okay. I have taken the first step into the world, into the realm. I believe it's called Eorza. And that is the world in which Final Fantasy 14 takes place.
No, Adrian. Why?
Let me tell you something.
No. There's no excuses for you to be playing.
Let me tell you something.
Nerd game. If Final Fantasy is fine.
Relax, Warhammer. Relax, Warhammer. Relax, Warhammer.
Garrett, you can never call anybody a Warhammer. You're not allowed to call people a nerd, Garrett. You paint little Warhammer figures.
JJ, I'm gonna send you a picture right now, and I'm gonna you keep talking, Adrian. You're fine.
I was playing it alone, and I was starting to get it because it felt like a little bit of a classic Final Fantasy experience where you're going around, you're doing the quests here and there, and then I started playing with a friend, and it all clicked. It all made sense, and I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm man enough to say it was fun to call it a nerd game. It still is very much a nerd game, but I get it. and I am excited to see where it goes. It is like so many possibilities that this game could go in. Every time I'm in there, there's like tons of people hanging out in the world doing their own thing. It's crazy. I get the MMO hype. And that's where I'm at. So if anybody who is listening to this is playing Final Fantasy 14, holler at your boy. Let's go do some dangerous activities. Fight some monsters that are definitely going to kill us. And pick up some sweet gear.
All right, JJ,
like the picture that Garrett just posted. of a character riding a giant cat.
I just put an image in the chat, JJ. Take a look at that. This is the kind of game that he's playing.
I think you're not really aware of what you just sent. You accidentally just sent a picture of a micro penis. I think this was you sending a dick pic. You might want to.
Are you saying it's one that needs some dubby energy?
Oh shit.
Yeah. You might want to take some of that galaxy grenade because you need
and call that guy.
And yeah. I don't know.
Hey, I got something for you. I don't know why you
sent that. Was that what happened there, Garrett? So why did you send the thing you're supposed to send?
I'm trying, JJ. I just sent another one. Is this one better?
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay.
What's
All
wrong?
Right, I see that.
It's a cat girl. What's wrong with that? That makes sense in Final Fantasy world. There's a lot of cat people.
Okay, there's some stuff. First of all, Adrian's cool as hell. Adrian, you're cool, man. I love you. I feel like
if you gotta let me have it, dude. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm dying on this hill.
I wanna preface this by saying this is nothing compared to Warhammer. Warhammer is truly nerdy, and anybody who goes meticulous painting on a 1-inch figures for hours at a time.
This figure right here is Thulil. He is the son of Thorlorn of the fourth tribe of
when I'm doing it, it's so therapeutic. And I just put my music on, and I burn my little incense, and I smoke a little peyote, and oh Lord, and I'm like, okay, dude, seriously. You've been like...
Did you guys hear they're coming out with a new expansion pack?
Why did he get so happy? Did you see his face? They did? Did they? What?
They're even coming out with their own brand of paints, so it looks color accurate.
Yeah. Does Final Fantasy 14 look super nerdy? Yes.
Yes, absolutely it does. Do I get it now, though? Now that I've played it and I've stepped into that world, I absolutely get it.
You're not backing down from it. See, you're not fighting it.
I've never played an MMO before. This is the first one I've ever played, and I understand the appeal now.
Okay.
I get it. I'm scared because I can see what this game will do to me. I can see it. And I can see coming on here and being the new JJ and being like, what did you play this week?
That's all I'm doing.
Final Fantasy 14. What did you play this week? Final Fantasy 14.
Wait, did I just defend you 2 seconds ago and then you threw me under the bus? In the next breath?
No. I'm just saying. That is what we know you for is little nightmares. I feel like that's going to be me with Final Fantasy 14. And you know what? It's going to get to the point where Garrett's not even going to ask me anymore. He's just going to say, what happened in Final Fantasy 14?
See what happened this week in Final Fantasy 14.
Right, and then I'm just going to go off.
What expansion are you on, Adrian?
Right, I fought 3 Trogbors in, I don't know, the kingdom of Splinbrith, and then I went on a mission with this one character, and me and my friends did a raid, and all this different kind of stuff. And that's going to be me every week for the next year and a half.
I'm scared. I'm very scared. Me too. Oh, man.
Garrett, you got to come in with a big hitter now.
All right. I played 2 things this week. I played the new expansion or the new update for the Mario
Look,
Kart.
Here we go.
Sorry.
I thought for sure it was Warhammer.
Mario Kart.
For sure it was the Warhammer expansion pack. I got excited right now. Oh my God. Do you realize how comedy gold that would have been? Had you just manned up?
Man.
Had you manned up and just said, I played the expansion pack for Warhammer.
Warhammer
oh my
God.
Expansion,
so it wouldn't even make sense.
Doesn't matter. You just freaking say it, you dumbass. Come on.
No, Mario Kart. They released 8 new tracks. And
they're great, by the way.
They are fantastic. They are so good. I am loving the new Mario Kart tracks. I played with my son, and what was awesome is I mentioned, what was that, like a month or so ago, I upgraded to the Switch OLED. Playing in like tabletop mode with that is so fantastic because the screen, even though it's just like a little bit bigger, it seems so much bigger. And I think it's because of the fidelity of the OLED, because it's brighter, more colorful. You get that little extra size. Like, yes.
Oh no, I said I didn't tell you. I'm supposed to be getting mine Friday.
Yeah, join the club. Yeah.
OLED, baby.
So good. I love it. But yeah, so we played just like laying in bed, playing some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the new tracks, and yeah, every one of the tracks was fantastic. I love the remakes from the old ones. I'm trying to remember the one. There's one that's from the Super Mario Kart that they remade.
Yeah, I think it's
what is
something 3. Is it Donut Plains?
Donut Plains 3, I think. So good. I love that track on the original Mario Kart. And then
Donut Plains,
this updated version.
The new Waluigi pinball. Oh my god.
Waluigi pinball is so good.
It's so good.
So
and Sky High Sunday. I don't care what anybody says. Sky High Sunday rules.
That one was pretty good too. Although there's like one part where you have to go through like a little hole in the side of the ice cream cone, and literally 2 out of the 3 laps, as I was getting ready to land in there, right before I'd get there, I'd get hit with a blue shell and drop immediately. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Like, it's driving me nuts.
My tough one was that sharp turn around a different ice cream cone where you basically have to drift the whole time. Always fell off. Could never slow down enough.
Yeah, they're fun tracks, blast to play. And I love that I can play with my son. Like, Shep's figuring it out. He's almost 5 now, and he's got it down. Like, he loves Mario Kart.
Sweet.
The other thing I played it with Adrian live on twitch.tv/the We played Kirby. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the thing. Kirby's Dream Buffet. Yes. So this is a game. It just came out last week. It just came out. And it's literally Fall Guys with a Kirby skin. It's pretty simple right now. It's just launched, so it's like not a ton of game modes, but there's like kind of like essentially every game, the idea is like just get the most fruit, but there's just different ways they go about it. I think there's like 4 or 5 different variations right now. Essentially just collect-a-thon of fruit though. Dude, I'm loving it. So it's $15 on Switch. So it's like even Fall Guys, when Fall Guys first came out, before it was free to play, like that was $30. This is $15, like half the price of Fall Guys even. A fun party game up to 4 players. You can play couch co-op and online. And yeah, it's just like bumbling through these maps and stuff, running into stuff. There's enemies on the map you got to avoid, or stuff. You get special abilities as you go through.
It has that Kirby charm and polish all over it.
Oh, it's gorgeous graphically, mechanically. It feels great. You can tell like, okay, this is a Kirby game. This is a Nintendo game. It has that seal of approval on it. It's fantastic. So if anyone picks it up, let me know. Like I'm down to play it. Like me and Adrian were loving on stream. After I got off with you, Adrian, actually, my buddy finally got on. He's like, hey, do you want to play? I'm like, sure. Yeah, I didn't stream it. I ended up playing with him for a while too, and it was so much fun. So yeah, check out Kirby's Dream Buffet. It's a fantastic game. This kind of came out of nowhere. It was just like a month and a half ago they announced it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was announced and released, I'd say within 2-3 months.
Yeah, it was like out of nowhere, like, hey, a new Kirby game, and everyone's like, wait, what is this? And then like a month later they just drop it, and you're like, okay, cool. Fun party game. I'm excited to try out the couch co-op aspect of it, see how that plays out, like, because it is pretty chaotic on the screen. So I'm wondering, like, with 4 people, how crazy that could get on the screen with like 4 windows all like flopping all over the place. But
oh boy,
we will see. All right, that's all we got for this week. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast or watching over at youtube.com/supergamerboys. We appreciate you all so much. If you would like to support us and help us make cool things, you can head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can support us over there starting at just $1 a month. You can also purchase merch at sgbstore.com, buy some t-shirts, mugs, stickers, phone cases. If you are looking for that kick of energy, go to w.gg, use code SGB for 10% off. And if you just, don't necessarily want to support us financially, and you're like, I want to support you, I don't have the money right now, or I have better things to buy, like, groceries so I can survive and live and stuff, we understand. And you can support us just by making sure you're following, you're subscribing wherever you can, ring the bell on YouTube, share us with your friends. Any and all support is appreciated. So thank you all so much for listening to our show. Shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Remember, go listen to them on Spotify and Apple Music. Links to Spotify are in the show description below. And show them some love. They make some killer music over there. Love what they do. And I'm thankful that they don't claim us for copyright stuff on, they don't give us a DMCA strike on Twitch and YouTube. It's great. Mm-hmm. You can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com. Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
And JJ, where can they find you at?
Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JJ Purdom. You can also find me at Suplex City Pod. We're doing the Suplex City Wrestling Podcast each and every week. Of course, produced by the Super Gamer Boys. And we're having a lot of fun talking professional wrestling. This week on the show, Scott Folder and myself are going to be talking all the wrestling news, as well as we're doing a WrestleMania rewind. We're going to watch WrestleMania 1 and then talk about it on the show. Our thoughts looking back from that classic from 1985, the one that started it all.
Dang. All right. Heard it here first. Go check out Suplex City Wrestling Podcast. It's a great show. This last week, you had a special guest as well. So
that's right. I had Buddy Sotelo Esquire. He is a pro wrestling manager that I ran a company with and had a lot of fun. I worked in several companies with him. Love him to death. He was the guest on the show. It's the first time we've had a guest in studio. It was a little wild, a little crazy. Somebody who talks even more than I do. And I loved having him on. I loved having him on the show, though. He's a good friend, and I think it's a fun listen. So you can go listen to last week's show.
Heck yeah! All right, that's all I got for the show. So JJ, take us away.
All right. Thanks again for listening to us each and every week, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. Tell a friend, tell two friends. If you don't have any friends, make some friends, and then tell them all about the Super Gamer Boys. For Adrian Hoboy Holmes, for Garrett Morlang, and for myself, JJ Purdom, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
It won't be flopping if you take WB! I'm telling you right.